All right, welcome to the next lesson. We're going to be talking about black and white photography. Raise your hand if you love black and white photography. Of course, I can't see you doing that, but I hope you all are raising your hand because black and white photography is one of my favorites. I think you're going to really enjoy it as well. Make sure you have your notes available that are in the post, and there are other videos that you will watch as we stop the video, as you stop this video periodically through the lesson to go watch those. All right, here we go. All right, here is a list, just a brief list of some of the things that we're going to go over in our class. We're going to talk about the history of black and white photography. We're going to talk about Ansel Adams, black and white composition, black and white camera settings, and you're going to try it, of course, and then I'll give you some homework to do. I'm curious if anyone's heard of Ansel Adams. Put in the post, give me a note if you have before this lesson. All right, so a little bit of history about black and white photography. In the 1930s, photography started out as black and white, right? That is where photography began years ago. Everything was in black and white. Color did not come till much later. Another name for black and white photography is monochrome, which means one color. It doesn't actually have to just be black and white, right? Because it could be any one color photograph. But in some camera settings, it's called monochrome. The history of black and white photography is essentially the history of the medium itself. Long before photographers captured the world in vivid chromaticity, they did so in monochrome. That is why sometimes we look at black and white photographs and we are just not sure when they were taken because we think of black and white as old, but black and white photos can be taken at any time throughout the world. And so black and white is fun because it can be a very classic way to take a photograph. All right, so let's learn a little bit about Ansel Adams. Ansel Adams, he was a man that was born a long time ago in the earlier 1900s, and he helped bring photography into the world of art. He created something called the What system. I want you to pause the video right here and go watch the video called Ansel Adams in the Post, and then come back and tell me if you can fill in the blank. You can actually fill it in, tell me what the word would be in the blank in the post after you watch that video. The zone system. This is what it is. This is what it is called. So if you put zone in the post, that is right. It is the zone system. And this essentially means that every level of black and white and every shade of gray in between is represented in the photograph. And so here you can see that each of the stops represent a different level of black being blended with white to create this gray and darker gray until it gets to black. All right. And just another word on the zone system. You don't have to do the zone system when you're taking photographs, of course. Black and white photography can be done in many ways, but the zone system was something that Ansel Adams came up with. He was very famous for his black and white photography, and it is a great way to compose an image and to have an image that is black and white. However, you will see many different kinds of photographs in this lesson that don't necessarily follow the zone system. But that is what he created, was the zone system. So let's talk about the composition of black and white photography and how that is very different than color. So as you can see from these photographs, the one on the left is just a beautiful landscape photo. It is in color, obviously. The one on the right is not in color, so we're seeing the black and white version of the same picture. I want you to notice on the left, where are your eyes drawn to in the picture? If you were to look away and then look back at the photo, just observe where your eyes go in the photo. Do that for a second. Okay, so where did your eyes go? Where were they drawn? You can write that in the post if you would like. Mine are drawn to the blue in the reflection and then the blue sky. And then my eyes just kind of come down over the picture. I'm seeing the mountains. Then I'm kind of settling on the reflection in the water. If you do the same thing with the black and white photo, look away, look at the picture. My eyes are, where are your eyes drawn first? Go ahead and do that. You can put that in the message too if you'd like. My eyes are drawn more to the lines of the mountains. So notice how just the picture being in black and white versus color is giving you a different composition, even though it's the same picture. You're seeing the picture differently. You're looking at something very differently than you do in the first picture. So shooting in color is very different than black and white. I want you to go ahead and pause this video, go watch the clip in the post that I have shared with you, the video clip, and then fill in the blank, what you think that blank is. Shoot black and white on what? And put that in the post. So you probably said shoot black and white on purpose. Exactly. Yes. You want to shoot black and white on purpose. And that means you go out knowing that's what you're going to be taking pictures of, because your eye is going to then be trained to look for that in your environment. You're going to be looking for the black and white image, the composition that has to do with lines and shapes and textures versus just color. Notice the differences here in these photos. The one on the left in the very upper left corner is the color version of the other one that's blown up there in the middle of the screen or in the left side of the screen. And you can see that the reflections and the colors and the reflections are just really dominating the image up there on the left. But then when you look at the one in the, the bigger black and white image, landscape image, where are your eyes drawn in that one? So in that one, I am seeing the shapes. I'm seeing the shapes of the trees, the shapes around the edge of the reflection, right? I'm looking more at the edges where you're seeing the leaves and the twigs of the brush reflecting in the water. I'm looking more at the shapes there. You notice the same thing here with the picture. We have the beautiful black and white image, and then we have the color image, and then we have the beautiful black and white one as well. And these two are very nice. The colors are beautiful in the bottom. My eyes are drawn more to the red dress because the red dress really calls your attention to it, right? Red is a bright color that can do that. And that's why they use it in so many advertisements, right? Think McDonald's. Okay. And then looking above, we see the black and white photo. My eyes are drawn to their faces more. What do you guys think? Because it's a classic image. We muted all the colors. I see their beautiful smiles, at least the boy and the mama's smile. This little girl, she just wasn't quite sure what was going on. So it was hard to get a photo of her at that point to get her to smile. But I did later on. All right, then in this one, you can see the image on the left, it's in color. The one on the right is in black and white. I want you to pause this video in a moment and go watch the clip that's labeled number 2. Focus on what makes black and white. And that's your blank to fill in. Put that word in the post, pause this video. Notice though, in these two pictures, we're looking for texture, tones, contrast, and light. The reflection over here gives us a lot of layers of things to look at. Over here, we might see some things differently. Tell me in the post how you do see things differently. All right, notice here the hummingbird. The hummingbird looks so cool. Obviously, because the background is very blurred out from being a very low aperture setting. And the hummingbird is on the same plane as the flower, you can see. And so those two are in focus really well. The black and white image is really nice as well. However, in the black and white image, your eyes are probably drawn to different things than they are in the color. Tell me in the post or in the message how you see these two pictures differently. All right, another video clip. It's labeled number 3. You're going to look for a few different things in this video clip. You're going to look for or listen for what the magic trio is. Once you find out what the magic trio is, put that in the message, please. Look for the geometry and architecture and the reflections on surfaces. Notice the reflection on the ground in the middle picture with the water. It looks like it was a rainy day and someone took a reflection on the ground of individuals or people. Tell me your thoughts about that picture. Tell me what you see. What kind of techniques do you see them looking for in this picture? Why did the photographer even take it, right? And then the picture on the right with the architecture. That's a very good example too of architecture and taking pictures using shapes and lines. All right, so you're going to pause this video and go watch the video with number 3 on it. Make good use of your what? All right, so what did you get for the magic trio? Rewatch the clip if you didn't get it, right? Pause here and go do that. So the magic trio we saw, before I talk about this slide, we saw the glass. He talked about it in the video when we saw the glass broken and then the person walking on the outside of the glass and then the light shining through. So there were 3 things that were really important that gave that picture meaning and gave it a really good composition. It was in black and white, obviously, but light was very important. Your subject, there was a subject in there that we knew we were to look at, and then the environment. So what was in the environment that caused that subject to look so great together? So those 3 things, light, subject, and environment, are necessary to create a really good black and white image. And then make good use of your environment was the word we were looking for. All right, so that means what's around you. Here are some more examples of black and white photos. Some of them follow the zone system a little bit better than others. The drop of water does a little bit more. The buildings, we've got a lot of black and a little bit of gray there and some white. And then over here, we have a lot of black again and some tones of gray. So very interesting. Notice how light is used in this image of this woman. The light is shining in on one side of her and you can see that side of her very well. Her hand is highlighted, just her side of her face. We only see one side of her face and one arm is showing. So the light allows us to give a lot of shape to our subject as well. All right, I want you to go get your camera. Well, you probably have your camera right there. I want you to get your camera. If you haven't already, I want you to find the monochrome or the black and white setting on your camera. Pause here, go watch the clip in the post about settings. I want you to give it a try, see how it works for you, enjoy it. Go take some pictures in black and white. Let me know in the post or in the message if you're having any trouble finding it. Leave the kind of camera you have as well so I can help you find it if you're having trouble. Most cameras will have it. There may be some that do not. So if your camera does not have the black and white setting, I would just take one of your images and put it into an editing program and turn it into black and white. You can do that just by bringing down the saturation of your image. There's also often a button that says black and white, and you can switch it to black and white right there. So there's different ways that you can do it in an editing program. All right, number 3, use contrast and tonality, the zone system. Here's the zone system a little bit more. Ansel Adams said there should be white, black, and every tone of gray represented in between. And that's what we have talked about. Pause right here and go play the video clip for this one. And then notice when you come back, notice that this is just really black and white. There's not a lot of gray there. This has a lot of variation, as we've talked about before. And here's the zone system again. All right, so what I want you to do is work on your homework. After this class, you're going to take pictures in black and white and or edit pictures in black and white. You can also just take them in black and white and then edit them as well in black and white. That is totally fine, because then you can bump up the blacks or bump down the whites or up the whites, and you can get different variations that you want in your picture. If you didn't get it when you were taking it, you can when you edit it, which is really fun. Put your before and after pictures in there so that we can see the difference. That would be really fun, and upload them to the post. All right, see you in the next lesson.